We got the Vargas brothers in the house.
Yeah, I got locked in.
Hell yeah. I'm excited for today.
You know what that means.
Got all kinds of Dorito things going on. Oh yeah.
A little surprise.
Yes sir.
It's a little one.
We got something in store.
Yeah.
We got Angel Motorsports down here to help us out with a little project we've been waiting to do.
Yep. I'm excited.
We brought down the truck.
This thing got rained on for like the past 14 hours.
Looks pretty good though.
So only a little bit of water came out.
Cleared out. You guys not have a wideband that needs to go there?
No, that's extra fire hole. So it's got
Oh,
this
the
on
extra
there.
fire hole.
Yeah.
So it looks cool in it, like 2 steps and stuff. Can't believe how much abuse this thing goes through.
Dude.
And just gets starts right back up. Never even happened.
Hot side was cherry hot last time. What was it, Indy?
Yeah, I think it was.
Like cherry hot? Yeah.
No, that was it. The one here, Florida.
Was it here?
Yeah. It got hot.
Like
yeah, that's when Wyatt blew up the 240, remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was...
yeah, this was the recent one. I forgot. Dude, I took the turbo off and it was perfect.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it didn't even melt it or anything.
Oh yeah.
Still the same turbo.
Yeah, this thing is sick. Sick tricks, bro. Ah! Sick. Fire up the 240, bro. Let's go. Last time we had a 2-step battle against these guys, it didn't go so well. Cue the clip. I think
Technically, he lost.
yeah,
Technically, I won. Okay, I'm the first one to blow up. You're welcome.
Which way you look at it. Who sent it harder?
Exactly. No, you did not.
They might have sent it harder and it held together. Well, guys, the Vargas brothers just rolled up, and I think it is time to finally get a game plan together for the old Sidekick here. I think you guys know where we're going with this. This thing has been sitting for a minute now. If you guys remember, we broke something in the transmission. It no longer has 1st and 2nd gear, it just has 3rd through 5th, and this thing has been sitting pretty much ever since, and we have planned on doing this swap in this thing ever since we picked it up. A lot of you guys have guessed it, and I'm excited to show you guys what we have in store for this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire this thing up and pull it in, and like I said, get a plan together to get this thing back up and ripping, and this thing's gonna be wild when we're done with it. There's Mochi.
Oh, Mochi!
We got a little chihuahua.
What's your
My goal is to do wheelies with Mochi.
Alright guys, we got Susie, the Sidekick here, pulled into the shop, and as you guys saw, the Vargas brothers are here, so I think you can already put together what's about to go down. If you look right over here, we have everything we're gonna need to make this thing one of the baddest sidekicks out there. So go ahead and give a little info here. So there's a 13B right 2 rotor.
Yep.
We're not Rotary guys, so we're gonna be learning as they put this thing together, which we're doing today, right now. They were going to put this together and bring it to us, but they ended up just bringing it down here in parts, and we're gonna assemble it right here. So we'll get to learn some stuff today.
I think it'll be a better experience, so you guys can like actually see it and know how it works and how it's put together. We already built the rotor, so everything's like already side clearance. So the side seals right here. Everything that keeps compression on a rotary motor, it's got 3 faces per rotor, 2 rotors, and the compression is kept in here in this chamber by 2 seals right here, apex seals. Which this is the ones that everybody jokes on that break, but these are actually aviation ones. Side seal.
Like airplanes and stuff.
Yeah,
so
this
they need
is
to be
like
reliable.
Yes.
So you don't want to die when you're flying in an airplane. So these are like super hard. These don't break. But you have a corner seal, the round one, side seal,
He
and
always
apex
does
seal.
that. Every video, always a reference.
Super hard.
Yeah,
Won't
super
break.
hard. You know, nobody likes soft seals. So, you know, we got the hardest ones there is on the market. And everything else is OEM. OEM side seals, OEM corner seals. We found that the best compressions retain with OEM seals. Apex seals, we don't want to use OEM ones because, you know, the abuse that we put it through. You know, we'd rather have a hard seal than a soft one. You know, if any detonation happens or anything like that, nothing. Yeah.
Welcome to the conversation, John.
5 minutes later.
I swear.
But this whole motor is from a 93 RX-7, so it's the strongest tube rotor there is. The second gen, first gen, they're like weaker in the casting over here in the dowel area, because this is an oil passage from front to back. It's an oil passage through here, and what happens is on the high horsepower ones, they crack right here, and you have oil leaking. So that's like the weakest point of the block. But on these, they're so thick, it's got so much material that these don't break. So we're sending all the boost to this one. We did the Puerto Rico scheme.
Yeah, so we gotta show what they have going on here, because they got the sections all powder coated, and you could confuse this with American colors, but what we're going,
same
same kind of thing, but
Put one star
we're trying
on
to
it.
Puerto Rican this thing out. So this kind of matches the Puerto Rican flag, and we got the blue front cover on there with the blue intake manifold, because especially being down here in Florida, there's a lot of Puerto Ricans out here, and they love their rotaries, especially in these little things. It's a pretty common.
I was gonna say we're gonna build it Puerto Rican style
we're
too,
going the Puerto Rican way.
on a 5-gallon bucket, huh?
We're gonna put this whole thing together right here
Not sponsored, by the
on
way.
a bucket.
Yeah, turn that around. Get that logo out of here. Oh, even worse.
For the high RPMs, like build wise and reliability, the sides were like clearance. So it's got like a little step right here. And it was shaved on the side, and it was shaved right here for high RPMs. That way, because there's E-shaft deflection, and that deflection will cause the rotor to hit. So we shaved the sides. On a piston motor, you have like a dead stroke pretty much. Like when after you have the exhaust and it's coming up, and the exhaust gases are coming out, there's nothing going on there. But with the rotor, every time something's going on one phase, there's another thing going on the other. So when you have the exhaust happening on this side, you know, compression's happening here and sparks happening here. So, you know, it's just like constantly like doing something, and that's why these motors make so much power even though they're so little.
They're efficient for their size.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about this transmission we got down here.
Yep.
So we're no longer gonna have a manual transmission in Susie. We decided to go with a 3-speed auto. It's gonna be pretty much the same setup as like the mystery machine that Cletus has. We want something that's good for drivability, because we still want to be able to drive this thing around, have fun with it, and we just figured nice little 3-speed would be the way to go.
The RX-7 automatic bell housing will bolt up to that without any crazy modifications. The only thing you have to do is like 2 or 3 holes for the pump. They have to be like re-drilled on the bell housing, and it will just bolt on right there. That's it.
So this is a C4.
Yeah, this is a C4. So
Forward.
these are pretty. Not a lot of people use them, but they're pretty inexpensive to build. And the fastest street cars in Australia are built with these trannies. They're running like 8-second quarter miles, like street, and that's like street cars. But simple manual valve body, some clutches, a hardened input shaft, and it's a pretty strong tranny 3-speed.
Oh yeah.
And is geared perfectly for a rotary.
And trans brake options.
Yeah, transfer.
I don't know if we're gonna go that crazy with the Sidekick, but
Wheelies.
if we want to, pop a couple wheelies in her, be pretty sick. And I'm just excited to finally get something together for this thing. It's been sitting for so long, and yeah, that's been the plan. Put a rotary in it. Like I said, a lot of you guys guessed it, saw it coming, but I think this thing's gonna be so nasty with a rotary swap. I mean, dude, 500-600 wheel horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
Got the brap going on.
It's gonna be insane.
This thing's gonna be sick. All Puerto Ricaned out.
And you were saying this is
Have
like
some meats.
the rowdiest sounding brap
Yeah.
setup.
'Cause they
The
have
semi-peripheral.
these, over here, so it's got a semi-peripheral. So it has the factory ports over here, street port, and then in here, these got machined out to be custom intake ports.
So is that factory? That's like a factory opening
No.
in these?
No, they're closed.
Oh, they're closed from
Yeah,
factory?
This is completely closed. So
So
got
why'd they
that.
cast those in there? Do you know?
Coolant ports.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because on the older ones, they coolant will come out of here, and it will go to the turbo. So it will come through the intake, and it will either feed the throttle body, or feed the turbo, and stuff like that.
Huh.
So on the newer ones, these are blocked off, so they're not coolant passages anymore. But we just get them drilled out and make them an intake port. The less restriction and airflow you have on a rotary, the more power it makes. And same with the exhaust. That's why like a lot of the NA rotaries are open. You know, they just have a header and that's it. Like super loud, because if you try to quiet them down, you put exhaust or anything like that, you know, the more you restrict it, the less power you make.
Nice.
So hence why rotaries are super loud.
Right.
Yeah, they're a little ridiculous sometimes, but loud and ridiculous, it's all right.
Insert clip of the reboot here.
Yeah. That thing's rowdy.
Yeah.
Little truck,
Things nuts.
crazy.
So that's why a lot of people bring a bucket to the side of the track, you know, because they come apart so easily and they go back together like so quick that they'll fix them on the side of the track on a bucket.
Yeah, we normally use an engine stand, but
Yeah.
they just got a bucket.
Okay.
So,
So the whole reasoning behind the bucket though is when you flip it and put it in the bucket to take it apart, everything drains into the bucket.
oh, okay.
So all the oil, coolant, all that stuff, so you're not making a mess around you.
And all the tools you need to build the engine fit in a bucket.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mobile workstation, bro.
So your whole kit.
Nice.
Yep. And then you sit on it after you're done.
Then you sit
Nice.
there and bitch when it don't run right. Well, shoot. I guess shall we start getting
Yep.
this thing all together?
Yep, let's get started.
So we're mixing up some JB Weld right now to put on these aluminum spacers right here. These guys go into the rotor housing right in between here, and it reinforces the walls because they did some machining to take some metal off right there, and those guys go in there. How many of those are there total?
4. So
Four
one
in
on each
total.
side.
And you also do this so you don't get water through here more. So when you pressurize it, it can start leaking into the housing. So that's why you seal it. Usually people seal it with a bunch of JB Weld.
And they don't even use the
Not
aluminum?
as strong as this, so that's why we
This
use
is
that.
stronger.
How would you seal? They just pour all kinds of JB Weld in there
Yeah,
and
like
fill the
for-
whole thing up?
Yeah, Dave worked with JB Weld in
So-
there and let it seal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right now
this
it's
is-
already sealed.
That's
but
the way to do it for sure.
So it's sealed now, but we're sealing it and then we're resealing it.
Okay.
So we're doing extra.
And there it is.
And then you gotta clamp it. Do you have a C-clamp or anything?
Yeah, we got some.
Yeah.
All right, boys, we got our bucket, and we're starting the process of stacking our rotary engine together here. I just had to take some, what do you call it, Pylamar?
Yep.
So just some like tacky
Just to hold,
silicone stuff to hold the
water
O-rings
system.
in there.
So no head gaskets, just rubber O-rings. That's what is on a rotary motor.
Yeah, so those O-rings just go right along there, one on the inside here and one on the outside, and then they just use that stuff to help hold it in there, the Pylamar, and then keeps them stuck while they stack the sections together. Make sure the O-rings aren't twisting around or doing nothing, popping out of place.
Yep. So before we stack it, we'll put the O-rings on, and after every plate and housing has an O-ring on it, then we sandwich it. So the reason you put them on around your neck is so you don't forget.
So you don't lose them?
Yeah, so you don't lose them, and then you're like after you build the engine, you have one around your neck, you fucked up, you know.
Oh, that makes
So-
sense. You put it all together, you're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
It's like when you have leftover bolts.
So right now you have an inner and an outer. So right now it has the Hylamar. So you want to put it. They're squared. So you have to make sure that you install it flat through the whole perimeter of it.
Okay.
So
We're gonna start with this guy then.
yep.
Yeah, usually
Whenever
just
you turn it on, this stuff will just get burned, and whatever's in here is just gonna be in the coolant, and it will float to the top.
Okay. Yeah, we usually just put a little touch of ultra gray on whatever, like if we need an O-ring to help stick
Yeah.
into place.
So, and that's it. That's the inner combustion O-ring. So now you do the black one, and the black one's a little bit harder to see if you twist it. So as long as you do it slowly like that, and you can't really mess it up. Around, we make sure it's not twisted, because if
So
it
there's-
is twisted, it will leak. So the reason that you put this tacky stuff on is because when you build this plate, you gotta like build it like this, upside down. So you don't want that stuff to fall out.
Yeah,
So now you do this
probably
side.
really important. So we got all of the coolant seals in. There's just this side that has those right there. This one's double-sided, so the seals go on each side of that, and then the one on the bucket over there. And now we're moving on to the dowels.
So these are the dowels that align the engine. So you have the long bolts that tighten it together, but these are what align it. So one goes here, and then one goes down there. So usually what I do is I just put them on the housing first. And then after that, we just like stack it up.
There you go.
So right now I already put the O-ring. So since this is an, like I said earlier, it's an oil passage, you have to put these O-rings right here. So these, if you don't put one of these O-rings, as soon as you start, it's gonna be seeping oil out the side. So the O-rings these O-rings are on, the water seals are on, and literally right now we just gotta take one of these housings, place it on that first plate, and then we put the rotor plate, this plate, the other housing, and then another rotor and the back plate, and that's it.
So it's kind of like Legos.
Yeah,
Just stack them on top.
Yeah. So if you had a longer shaft, we'll keep on going, making it longer, but which you can't do.
Yeah, unfortunately we only got a short shaft over here.
See, I told
Maybe.
you. He's
Maybe we'll
done it again.
maybe we'll upgrade to a longer shaft in the future, but you know, you got to work with what they gave you.
Yeah.
So short shaft it is.
Yeah, we'll get that fixed later on, you know, but for now.
I think they have surgeries for that.
Yeah, they do. So you gotta line it up to these dowels. You know, obviously John doesn't need help. That's it. And then next part is the rotor, which this is the front one right here. So
No,
we'll
I tell you, I la housing.
How do you know which rotor is the front and rear rotor?
The way the gear is.
The way I built it, you know, so this gear goes facing this way for the front, and then I already built it so the apex seal only goes one way this way.
Well,
Okay.
it's the way you gotta put the corner of the apex seal in, so you
Yeah,
can't
so-
put it backwards. But once you put the rotor in this way, you can't really
Okay,
get
so are you
this
talking
corner.
about that little corner right there?
Yeah, the apex seal is,
That's
we
the corner.
still gotta put the second piece on after we put it in.
Okay. So the rotors do matter which way they go.
Now that we got the plate and housing, you know, I heard from Rob Dom that you can use Valvoline as assembly lube. So we're gonna put some on the housings and some on the bearings.
Rob does like his Valvoline.
Yeah, he does. So
We're gonna hold my accountable for it. If it messes up,
if it
it's
don't
him.
work, it's his fault. But just a little bit because we want to roll it over and have some type of lubrication until it actually gets oil pressure. So you know, like any engine, you want to have some type of lube on it. You know, you never want to go in with a dry stick.
I knew. it was
So-
coming.
You can't have the engine build videos without
Nah,
the terminology.
So, you know that Dorito stick can't go in dry, and we have to make sure we spit on it a couple times before going in.
So the way we do it is that people normally just put the rotor in and then they align the seals and then push the springs in and the apex seal in. The way me and my do it is way easier. Is that you put everything together and just basically hold the seals and tighten them and slowly put the rotor into the engine, which is way easier and faster. And see, just like that's done.
And you leave this little leg out, and that's what keeps the spring in. So you just slide it in, push, put a little bit of grease on top of it because it is spring loaded now, so it might fling across the room. So if you put a little bit of lube on it, it'll keep it in place.
Can't lube it up by yourself.
No, you can't lube it.
Alright, so what you want to do now is you just put it in there in an angle so it doesn't go straight into the lobes. So like right about here. That way it gives you space to put the plate in and turn it and then go down on it.
While your boy holds your shaft, you come from underneath. So when you come with this plate, you slide down and then you gotta twist it like this, that, and then your boy grabs the shaft and puts it in. And the noise at the end, 100% needed. That's it.
Eye contact is key also. You gotta make sure you don't, when you're pushing this down, you don't, the little corners of the episodes don't come out.
And watch your boy's fingers.
Yeah, never.
People pinch their fingers under the
And
plate.
make sure you don't put your fingers in the wrong hole. You get stuck.
You're gonna get flagged.
Alright, so.
Alright, so Kyle's gonna get.
No, it's Kyle's
gonna
turn because he needs the experience.
I didn't know you got jealous of that.
So now it's the dowel pins. So you just look at the location of the dowel pins and that's it.
And that's it.
Yep.
Just make sure you don't hit the dowel pins on this corner of the seals.
Yeah, so just watch out for the rubber. Because if you pinch the rubber and get a nick on it, it's, you know, 18 years of your life right there. It's in. You just tap it in. And now tap those.
Those go flush?
Yep. Well, almost flush.
One hand like this, cover
Yeah.
it, and then with the other hand, pinch two of the seals. This one like that.
Yep.
And then you like try to find like the angle of it first, where it's gonna be like that, and then slowly like put the rotor in place. If you mess up, Mike's gonna yell at you.
Yeah, I see.
There you go.
I should have gone from behind and did it.
Well, these want to they're kind of sliding up.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just keep going. John, help him from behind.
Wait, no, I think I got it.
Please no, we're gonna. It's
So
gonna
that's
have
fine
to
that
have
that came
it
up that
18
high?
Yeah, just push it down again, and that's it. So that's why we push them down with the screwdriver after, in
we
case
have a
they.
tool for it, but we brought a screwdriver today.
So I didn't mess it up. It's
Okay,
good.
so you got these little 3 pieces right here.
This is the scary part, right? So if you push it down too fast, it's gonna spring up and go down that hole, and then we gotta start over again.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta be really careful with it, and the way you put them is that
Yeah, do that one.
The
spring, you
square
see
thingy
you see
facing
like,
up.
this is slip for the spring, so you'll be facing in of the rotor, and this is gonna be touching the housing. So you just put it like inward like that slowly,
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
and then push it. Once it's like that, you just push it down to make sure it's seated right like that.
Okay.
That's it.
Do it for Puerto Rico
Puerto Rico!
and all the Puerto Rican Honda owners.
You know, you just kind of tap it in.
She is coming together. That was pretty simple. At least stacking everything.
It's pretty quick process.
Then it's just getting all the accessories bolted on after this. So those bolts are what hold everything together. And then we still have this front housing to get on there. And then there's still like the oil
Counterweights.
pump and the counterweights. And then it will just be all the little stuff. Intake manifold will be probably one of the last to go on. But making good progress. She is pretty much there. All of our Doritos are in line, ready to go.
We gotta tighten the bolts.
Alright.
It's torque time, and we need to see your tattoo that you got for a rotary torque sequence.
You just wanna hold my hand.
Here, write it down for Kyle.
So,
Look on this way.
I can't even read that.
Yeah, that shit's
I got
old
fat,
as
it's
fuck,
stretched.
bro. It's fucking-
There you go. So what do I do? Do them all
So
once
do it
to
from
30?
this side over here. Yeah, all of them to 30. And then
final
Yeah.
35.
35,
The
yeah.
key to this is that when you're tying it, you're gonna kind of when you stand it up and holding the engine with your legs.
Yeah,
So
keep
when
it
you're
from
torquing
twisting.
it, you don't drop the engine on your leg.
Yeah, don't want it to come off the bucket.
Yeah. Or John can
You
do
like
it.
those pants or not?
These?
Yeah.
It's gonna get grease on it.
Okay.
All right,
you're gonna
sick.
get silicone on
Oh,
them.
no, I don't care.
All right.
I work in everything I own.
You always check to see, make sure. You know, usually you have spark plugs, but you want to listen to like 6 even pops.
Oh, she's making compression.
That's pretty much it. I mean, now we just flip it and put the front counterweight. This is the rear. So we put the keyway, the bolt, gave it 10 ugga-duggas, and now we flip it. That's it.
Mike just got the oil pump on there with the chain. And then there's this counterweight that goes right there. And then a couple more things that go onto the shaft right there. And then the front cover.
Front cover, and that's it.
And that's it.
Then we make a long, extensive list of parts that we need to finish this.
Yep, because she still needs some more things.
We gotta pull out the Boosted Boys black credit card.
Front cover. Good to go. Dude, that is looking so freaking good. Alright guys, got her all together. Check that out with the intake manifold.
Whole different voice.
And I want to show you guys, yeah, when the camera's on me, I change demeanors a little bit. But show you guys what we kind of got going. So that's the Puerto Rican flag. And we're thinking put a white star right here. And then
Pretty sick.
it's gonna match perfectly. So that is freaking awesome. The rotor sections are painted just like the flag. And yeah, the motor's all put together though. So huge shout out to Vargas Brothers over
Not
here.
you, John.
I did a lot.
Only Mike.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, John was just in the background, you know, doing whatever John does.
Busting my balls all day.
But yeah, dude, this thing looks so freaking sick, and it's gonna be good for, you know, pretty much as much power as we need. We really don't want much more than like 500-600 horsepower ever. I say that now, but realistically, that much power in this car,
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So this will be more than capable of what we need for power goals, and we still have a lot to get figured out before we start this swap. So these guys were coming into town regardless. So while they were here, we went ahead and got the motor knocked out, but we still need to get some upgrades done to the transmission and stuff that they brought down. Once we get all that together and we get a solid game plan and a parts list, then we'll actually go ahead and start ripping all this stuff out of the Sidekick and begin on the Rotary swap. But that might not happen for a few weeks, maybe even at least a month out from now, because we're pretty busy right now with some other things. But we got the Rotary here ready to go, and I think it's gonna look freaking sweet in there when we get it all done. So
He said part list. It can be list. A lot of lists.
multiple part lists.
A list with a list.
Yeah, list and a list.
We're hoping for one part list, but it'll probably turn into multiple. But we got the motor, and we were also looking over at the engine bay, just seeing how it would fit in there. The car has a independent front suspension, so there's a lot of room under there, so we don't think it's going to be too hard to mount it up.
You know, Samurais have the problem with the solid axle hitting the engine because of leaf springs on the front.
Yeah, we ain't got no leaf springs in here.
Yeah, no leaf
She's
springs.
high tech. She's like a race samurai.
Pretty much, it's like
Purpose-built race
So
car.
it's
What
the
can I say?
Ferrari of Samurais right here. So super easy. I mean, drive shaft take a couple days, and
And you know how to mount a tranny,
wiring in a day. Say what?
Bye, guys. Thanks for the help.
Yep.
They're taking the bucket with them.
This guy's
Well, soon
experience.
enough, we're gonna put these for sale on our website. You can buy your own Angel Motorsports bucket.
Professional rotary engine stand.
Well, boys, there it is. We are officially putting a 13B Rotary in the Sidekick. Still some more to get figured out before we really dive into it, but we have the motor here assembled, ready to go, and I'm really pumped on this build. Be sure to be on the lookout for updates when we get to it, but for now, we got some other things to take care of. That's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you later.
Mochi. Bro, yes. Oh,
Mochi! Mochi! Sit down, Mochi. Hey, sit. Alright, sit. Alright. And then we'll do one without.
He's like, get this off me.
Look at me.
big sad.
Oh, that looks cute. That looks cute though.
Alright, just
Mochi,
go
look.
ahead
Just
now.
Kyle. Just
Mochi,
Kyle.
look.
Is he looking?
Yeah. Mochi.
Good job, buddy.
That was pretty solid.